Greetings from the wasteland, and welcome once again to our weekly check of some of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. It is October, so that does mean it's time for the Rhino Rocktober event, with lots of cool reissues headed our way throughout the month. We'll get to those in just a couple of moments. On the new release side, though, there's only a couple of things of note to cover. So here we are with covering the highlights of the new releases headed our way for Friday, October 7th of 2022. And we're kicking off with a big one, something brand new from Beyonce. This is called Renaissance. Our description says this is the highly anticipated new album from global icon Beyonce, packed with rousing anthems that resonate with everybody. Renaissance is a culmination of freedom and escape that encourages unimaginable jubilation, agency, and movement with abandon. So the new release from Beyonce, called Renaissance, is a double LP, black vinyl 180 gram, in printed jackets with printed inner sleeves. It comes with a 36-page booklet and a folded collectible 24 by 36 poster, one of 3 different ones, and you get a random one. And it comes in a hard slipcase. It does list a little heavy, though, coming in with a suggested retail price of about $47. And last week, we had something new from the Pixies, and it feels like we're kind of heading into that 80s, 90s era again. We've got something new this week from The Cult. This is called Under the Midnight Sun. Our description says that lyrically, Under a Midnight Sun bolsters a new musical dexterity by building out of the idyllic and surreal vision that is its title. It continues by saying that throughout, Ian Ashbury pulls in influences from Brian Jones, William Burroughs, Buddhism, the Beats, and the Age of Aquarius, all shaded with the lingering threat of the present and timeless Cult color palette. So brand new stuff from The Cult called Under the Midnight Sun, coming on either a black vinyl listing for $27 or an indie exclusive white vinyl version, also listing for about $27. On the reissue front for the week of October 7th, as we mentioned earlier, we're kicking off Rhino's Rocktober event with a trio of very cool releases, starting off with the Talking Heads' Remain in Light. This one coming on white 140 gram vinyl. And this is a brick and mortar exclusive, by the way, as all of these Rocktober releases are. So you've got to pick these up in independent record stores. No harm in that one. Also on the Rocktober calendar for the first week of October is a pair from the Cars. We've got Candy-O coming on clear vinyl and Panorama showing up on 140 gram blue vinyl. Both of the Cars releases, by the way, are listing for about $22. And I forgot to mention that the Talking Heads Remain in Light will list for about $25. So the Rhino Rocktober event basically is just a couple of releases every week throughout the entire month of October. So we're starting off, as we mentioned, with the Talking Heads and the Cars. But throughout the month, we can expect stuff from INXS, the Sex Pistols, some stuff from the B-52s, Television, and a pair from Iggy and the Stooges. The Stooges, by the way, the self-titled and Funhouse. So stay tuned in the upcoming weeks as we go through the month of October. We'll cover each of these Rocktober releases a little more in depth for that particular week. We've got something from Tom Waits. This is a reissue of Blood Money, an anniversary edition. It's the 20th anniversary edition, by the way, and Blood Money was the 15th studio album by Tom Waits, originally released in 2002. This version of Blood Money is coming on 180 gram silver vinyl and will list for about $27. And looking a little bit further ahead for the week of October 21st, we've got another Tom Waits, so we'll count this one as on the horizon. You can look forward to the Alice anniversary edition. We'll have more info on that in a couple of weeks. A quartet of reissues from the Kinks as we continue this slow drip of Kinks reissue. This week, we're looking at Kinda Kinks, listing for about $30. Something Else by the Kinks, also listing for around $30. The Kink Controversy, again, a $30 reissue. And Face to Face by the Kinks. So all 4 of those listing for around $30. Make sure you get your pre-orders in on those. The Kink stuff has been somewhat reliable, but is still coming through on time for most stores. A pair from L7 on the reissue front as well. Hungry for Stink is coming on red vinyl and will list for about $32. And The Beauty Process will list for about $28. So some cool rock and roll from L7 with those 2 releases. And there's also a reissue coming from Soul Asylum. This is Grave Dancers Union. Limited edition on black and gold marbled vinyl for the 30th anniversary of that album's release. I guess this one is going to be numbered and limited to about 5,000 copies. Coming from Music on Vinyl, so you know it is going to sound good. Imagine that they'll eventually release this on black vinyl, but of course the numbered and colored MOV releases are the ones that are always the coolest to get a hold of. So the Music on Vinyl reissue of of Soul Asylum's Grave Dancers Union on black and gold vinyl will list for about $37. We've also got a reissue from Mac Miller. This is Macadelic. Limited edition. This one's coming with an embossed cover on colored vinyl, silver vinyl by the way, and it includes a poster. This is a reissue of the 2012 album from Mac Miller. I guess this is a 10th anniversary edition now that I look at the date on that. It was the 7th mixtape by rapper Mac Miller and includes the hit single Loud. So the Macadelic reissue package on silver vinyl will list for about $36. And this one's a hard one to find on the used vinyl side, so snag up the new reissues when you can. Here's a reissue of Blue by Joni Mitchell, a limited edition 180-gram black vinyl pressing. This was one of the greatest albums of all time as named by Rolling Stone magazine. So the songs on this latest reissue of Joni Mitchell's Blue looks like they were all from a 2021 remaster, and that will list for about $25. And wrapping things up, we've got a few live albums and compilation albums to talk about. The first couple coming from Deep Purple. We've got a live in Hong Kong and a live in Tokyo 2001. The live in Hong Kong release features Deep Purple at the top of their game in the midst of their Asian tour from 2001. This one is a triple LP pressing and coming on, of course, purple vinyl. That one will list for about $45. And that live in Tokyo from 2001 is on red vinyl. It's also from that same tour, by the way. This is a 4-disc set, and it's coming on red vinyl, and that one will list for about $50. A cool psych reissue from Cleopatra and Purple Pyramid. This is Captain Beyond, live in Texas, recorded in 1973. This is a full-length concert album from one of the greatest undiscovered gems of 70s psych rock, Captain Beyond. So this newly released classic concert is a double LP, and it's coming on red vinyl, and that one will list for about $37. Some cool stuff also from Cactus. This is The Birth of Cactus, 1970. Our description says this is a stunning, historic vintage live show unearthed from the archives for the very first public performance of the classic rock heroes Cactus, appearing on the bill at that time with Jimi Hendrix, the Grateful Dead, and the Steve Miller Band. So this Cactus performance from 1970, The Birth of Cactus, on Purple Haze vinyl will list for about $30. Oh, and by the way, there's also a blue vinyl version of this Birth of Cactus. That one listing for about $27. Here is a various artists album and a very cool compilation. It's called 80s Movie Hits Collected. Limited 180-gram black and white colored vinyl. Looks like one of each. This is coming also from Music on Vinyl, and it's a limited edition of 2,500 individually numbered copies with one LP on white vinyl, the other on black vinyl. Our description says the 80s spawned many iconic films such as Footloose, Dirty Dancing, Ghostbusters, Rocky, and The Breakfast Club. And despite all of the different genres, they all had something in common: great film music. So 80s Movies Hits Collected is a collection of that music linked to those great 80s movies classics. It includes artists like Queen, Billy Ocean, Lionel Richie, The Bangles, Duran Duran, Pat Benatar, Tina Turner, and Survivor, amongst many, many others. As mentioned, there's music here from Highlander, that's a Queen tune, The Breakfast Club, Electric Dreams, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, A Never Ending Story, Top Gun, La Bamba is on here, Ghostbusters, Legend of Billie Jean, Pretty in Pink, Weird Science, mentioned Back to the Future, Less Than Zero, Cocktail. Holy cow, this list goes on and on. It is a double LP, as we mentioned. So 80s Movie Hits Collected from Music on Vinyl will list for about $47. And I know we're not even to Halloween yet, but we are going to have to start talking about Christmas vinyl because it's showing up on our distributor list. Here's one from Dolly Parton called Home for Christmas. This is available, according to our description, for the first time on vinyl globally. Home for Christmas features Dolly's take on 10 Christmas classic standards like I'll Be Home for Christmas, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and We Three Kings, among many other favorites. So Dolly Parton's Home for Christmas will list for about $23. I guess we got to get those pre-orders in early because those are always going to be in demand. So there you have it, a quick look at the highlights for the releases coming up on Friday, October 7th. If you see something you'd like, head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com and you can check out the pre-orders through there. But also on that site is the comprehensive full list of new releases, not only for this week coming up, but several weeks into the future. But if you'd like to order something in store, just give us a call or contact us through Facebook or email, and we'll get these pre-orders in for you. So until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you next week from the Wasteland.